cover yesterday, which is the high-level language interface. Okay, so as I say yesterday that your high-level language and assembly language can be incorporated to each other. Okay, so actually I already show some of the way yesterday, but today we will repeat it again lah. Okay, so high-level language interface. Okay, interface is how we can connect or your HLL with the assembly language, how they are connecting to each other. So here is how. Here is the how lah. Okay. Okay, so we can write assembly language program that call C or C++ functions. Okay, so yesterday I said C++ function can use assembly language, right? And then actually assembly language also can call C++. Um, then how the assembly language to call C++ is like this lah. Okay, so in your C++, it must have this what syntax or this syntax. Your C++ program must have this, must use this syntax, which is extend C function name and then the parameter list. Okay, so for example, it's like this lah. Okay, so to connect the assembly language with your C++, you must have main function or main procedure in your C++ code. Okay, so because this is the default way on how the compiler will compile. It will compile your main function to start and end the programs. Although you have your assembly language but when you incorporate C++ with your assembly language, it must start with C++ code in the C++ file, and then we will end in the C++ file also. Okay, so this is the first thing we need to do when we want to make assembly language and the C++ connected to each other. First, we need to make our C++ to connect to have this, meaning this function can be accessed when you have this in your initialization of your function, meaning this function can be accessed by assembly language. Okay, so this is the example. Okay, this is the extent. This is when you studying C++ last time, did you learn about the header? C++ header?
Like the stdio.h, like that.
I mean, yeah, kind of lah. I mean, because in C++ actually you can write this. I mean, to run this program you don't need this file also can. You can just direct copy paste this to this. And then you don't need to include this multi-array.h. Okay, so this can also. Sorry, this is C++. So this way also can, but in this example it shows another way because by having head.h is meaning this is the header for the C++ code. Okay, so it support abstraction. Okay, so if you remember the abstraction concept in OOP, object-oriented programming, so by having another header that is containing the declaration, any declaration, then you support the concept of abstraction. Okay, so what I want to say is you can use this way or you have another header lah. Okay, so for this example, we use header. So, okay, so just assume that this multi-array dot header is actually it is part of your C++ file. Okay, so this is what the first thing that you need to do is to declare this extension in your C++ file. This is actually declaration of whatever function from the external that you want to use in your C++ file. Okay, so you can put it here because we want to use the ASM array from assembly language here. Okay. Okay, so this is the first where you can put it in another file in the header file or you can put it directly inside this inside the main C++ or in your C++ file. After that, the second step is if your assembly language module will be calling procedure from IR32 link library, be aware that it uses the following .model directive, which is included in small win inc file lah. Okay, so in our assembly language, if we want to use functions from your C++, you need to put like this one C because why? Because they are C here. But what this not said is if you want to use some functions or directive from this library. So in this example, we want to use a standard call library, standard call kira functions lah from this library. But for our case is we are using the C++, our C++ file, which we already put like a C here. So that's why in your assembly language, you just need to use C here in your model directive. Okay, so this is the second step to connect between these two files. And then after that, to call C or C++ function from assembly module, add the C qualifier to the proto directive when declaring the function. And this is actually what I said just now lah. If you want to use if you want to use some function from your programming C, you also can you need to do it like this lah. The name of the function and then this proto is the syntax and then the C. C is referring to the extent here tu lah. Okay, so that is the third step. First, this one. Second, this one. Third is this one. But since this example, we didn't use any functions from C++ to be used in this assembly language. So that's why we didn't put this one because we didn't use any example from C++. We only use assembly language function in the C++. So that's why we don't have the example of this in our code lah. Okay. After that, your practical exercise. Okay, so I already uploaded Discord actually. Discord. Discord is this one lah. Sorry. This one. One, two, three. There are three files, but I remove some of the label here so that you can fill in the blanks lah. You can see whichever I put this, the capital letter instruction here, fill in the suitable label. So you need to try to do this, try to fill in so that you can achieve this one. This is the exercise lah. The exercise needs you to write an assembly language that multiplies a double word array by an integer. Okay, so you must write a test program in C or C++ that creates an array, pass it to the subroutine. The subroutine is the assembly language subroutine is the assembly language that is referred by the C++ code. Okay, so pass it to the subroutine and print the resulting array values like this one now. It should ask you to enter any number, and then your result must you need to it will multiplies the number this two with two lah. Okay, with two or yeah, like with two. Okay, so it will return this. So please only change this for this file lah .asm language. Yang the two ni you don't need to do anything, but you need to understand and you check the code for you to understand how the high level language working lah with assembly language. Okay, clear?
Okay.
Okay, so this exercise you can submit by the end of this week lah. This practical. No need today also can. Just try to make sure that you can produce something like this. And then all of the code already, the step is already here. Just you need to try to what to fill in the blanks lah. Okay. So if you have any questions, then you can ask lah in WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Sorry, I muted my mic. Ayo. Okay, so you guys can see, right? The what the example that once I run this just now. Okay, so whatever we put here, the number 10k, then it will return the double of 10 lah. Okay?
Oh, until
Uh,
9.
Pardon?
Until 9.
Yeah, only until 10 if not mistaken. But it start with 0, right? So it until 9,
Oh,
9, the total in 9 lah. Okay? So, okay, bye.
Okay, Miss.
Okay. Eh? Yeah, Noel. Sorry. About the question about the assignment last time. Yesterday I already asked the CC, but they haven't replied back about how the summary and then the second level of menu too. I want to double confirm with them either our way that I told you just yesterday is acceptable or not. But they haven't
oh,
replied me back lah.
oh,
Okay, so you use this time to complete the practical lah. It's
oh,
better if you can finish faster because it will not apa tu disturb your weekend kan.
oh. Okay.
Okay, so bye.
Okay. James.